In this session, we will be discussing about conservation laws valid for elementary particles and the symmetry which is available for elementary particles and something called PCT symmetry, and we will define what is isospin and what is the outcome of that. So, first we will go to conservation laws and symmetry. First we will state the conservation laws, then at the end we will be talking about the symmetry. So, in any reaction in the elementary particle, emission of elementary particle or conversion of one elementary particle into another, we have got the following conservation. Energy is conserved, that is generally true for all reactions, energy is conserved, and linear momentum, that will also be conserved. Linear momentum is symbolized as L, so that will be conserved, and the angular momentum, that is total angular momentum, that is also conserved. The linear momentum is mv, mass into velocity is linear momentum, angular momentum is the rotational. So, we have got spin angular momentum, then we have got the total angular momentum, all of them will be conserved in any reaction, and the charge is also conserved in any reaction. For example, we take E plus E minus, it will give photon, that is pair annihilation. We get positron and electron, when they combine together the charges vanish and we get energy, energy as a form of photon which is chargeless. Therefore, when you take a charge into account, this E plus is having plus 1, E minus is having minus charge, and the photon is having 0 charge. So, E plus and E minus they cancel and we get 0 charge. So, we get the charge is conserved in any reaction. We have just given us one example. Then in any reaction, baryon number is constant. We know that in the elementary particle listing, we said about leptons are light particles, and baryons, leptons are light particles like electron, positron. Baryons are heavier particles like neutron and proton. So, they will be given the neutron and proton number, that number of baryons in any reaction on the left side and right side will be equal. So, as an example, we take a neutron becoming proton plus, this is a beta minus particle, E minus or beta minus, plus antineutrino. So, this is the reaction which we studied in beta decay also. So, the neutron is converted to proton plus 1 E minus plus antineutrino. This is the reaction. This is the decay of neutron. Now, here the neutron has got baryon number 1 because it is a baryon. It has got mass about 2000 times mass of electron, more exactly 1836 times. Therefore, it is a baryon number 1. So, we get baryon number 1. Similarly, proton is also a baryon, so we give 1. Now, this one electron is not a baryon. Therefore, we call it as the baryon number is 0. Similarly, antineutrino is not a baryon, so 0. So, we get this side 1 and the right side we get 1 plus 0 plus 0. So, the baryon number is conserved in this reaction. Similarly, if we take proton plus proton collision, we will be getting proton plus antiproton, we will get antiproton. This is the reaction we observe in LHC, that is a large hadron collider. Proton collides, and this is we get one antiproton also produced there. So, here this is all high energy reactions. Here all of them are protons, so all of them are baryons, and here alone we get antiproton. Antiproton is given baryon number 1. So, baryon number is plus 1 for particle, minus 1 for antiparticle. Therefore, we get 1, 1, here 1, 1, 1. And so, therefore, we get on the left side 1 plus 1, 2. On the right side 3 minus 1, 2. So, we get baryon number is conserved, where P is proton and P bar is antiproton with baryon number minus 1. Then similarly, the lepton number will be conserved in any reaction, lepton number will be conserved. So, here again we are just taking the same reaction, the decay of neutron. So, we get neutron becoming proton plus electron plus antineutrino. This electron is nothing but beta particle. both are same. So we get electron plus. Now here as far as the lepton number is concerned, the neutron is not a lepton, it is a baryon. So lepton number is 0. Similarly, proton lepton number is 0 and electron is a lepton and this antineutrino is also a lepton. So for the electron we get put plus 1 and for this antineutrino we get minus 1. So as we stated earlier, for any particle it is plus 1, for antiparticle it is minus 1. So where this is the observation, in nature this is what we observe. So where lepton number is equal to plus 1 for particle and lepton number L equal to minus 1 for antiparticle. Similarly, we will have the meson number. If we take any reaction, number of mesons will be constant. And to just recall what we have studied, leptons are all light particles like electron, positron, and baryons are heavy, like it will be 2000 times mass of electron. Mesons, as the word M, you just remember M, it is for medium mass. So it is in between the mass of electron and neutron. So this will be around 200 times mass of electron. So if you take any reaction, you will be able to find that meson number will be constant. So only when it is constant that reaction is possible. We will go to PCT symmetry. What does this P, C and T stand for? P is for parity and C for charge conjugation and T is for time reversal. So we will just go one by one. As short we write as PCT, parity, charge conjugation and time reversal. So what is this parity? P, we will go for P. Parity is denoted as capital P. It is parity spatial inversion, that is parity, spatial inversion. An event seen in mirror should be exactly equal to the real event. That is what we spatial inversion we call. Suppose I have got a mirror and I am just throwing a rubber ball onto the mirror. So it will go and hit the mirror and the rubber ball bounces out. Similarly, when you look at the image, that will also bounce out from the mirror surface. As you throw, both will be approaching. This will be approaching, the image will also approach the mirror surface. And when they bounce back, the ball will be coming outside the mirror. Similarly, as we observe inside the mirror, it will be going outside from the surface of the mirror. An event seen in mirror should be exactly equal to the real event. That is physically true. So this parity is related to symmetry. This is called parity. Equally on both directions we get. So that is symmetry. This parity is related to symmetry. And nature shows no preference for right-handed and left-handed systems. We will just go to that, why we call it as right-handed and left-handed system. Both are, suppose what we see in the mirror, suppose I am rotating some object or even my finger I am rotating on the clockwise direction. In the mirror, it will be in the anti-clockwise direction. If you see in the mirror, it will be on reverse direction. And therefore, both will be same. Whether it is left-handed or right-handed, it will be same. So now we will just go further. Two are equally likely to exist. Two, that is what is happening in the real and what we see in the mirror, both are equally probable to exist, or two are equally likely to exist. This is what we observe in one physical phenomenon. We observe whatever is happening in the real. In the mirror also same thing we will be able to observe. Now nuclear radiations you consider alpha, beta and gamma emission. These are the basic natural emitters. These are the particles emitted in nature from a nucleus. Alpha emitted symmetrically. Suppose I have got alpha particle, a source of alpha particle, and you find that if you have detector everywhere you will find that particles are emitted in this direction, that direction, this direction. Everywhere, wherever you put the detector, you will be able to see the alpha particle. Similarly, gamma emitted symmetrically. Gamma also emitted in all directions symmetrically. But when you take beta, it takes preferred direction. So if you have a beta source, I have got a beta detector here. If I put here, it is showing reading. Same maybe 1 meter distance. Same detector 1 meter distance I put in the other direction, it is not showing. It is not showing. So it is not having symmetry. So there is no parity. Parity here means symmetry. There is no symmetry of emission in beta decay. And therefore, parity is conserved in electromagnetic radiation. That is, if you have radio waves will be emitted in all direction, or even light if you take, that is also electromagnetic radiation. If you have a source of light, it will be going in all direction. If you 1 meter distance, intensity will be same. Here this side, that's everywhere. So it is conserved, parity is conserved, symmetry is conserved in electromagnetic radiation and not conserved in beta decay. In beta decay, there is some peculiar behavior. So parity not conserved in weak interaction. Already we said that beta decay corresponds to weak interaction because it carries a neutrino which is carrying the missing energy, and the neutrino is not is carrying the energy and it is not being detected. Therefore, it is not absorbed by any material. Therefore, it is a weak interaction. So they found that parity is not conserved in not only beta decay, in some other in all weak interactions. In all observed weak interactions, parity is not conserved. That is, it is not symmetrically emitted in all directions. That is it. Now we will just go further. Beta particles are emitted so along or against nuclear spin direction. Suppose the nuclear spin is in one direction, nuclear is spinning in this direction, beta particles are either emitted along that direction or against that direction. It is not emitted in perpendicular direction. If the nuclear spin is in this direction, the beta particle is emitted along or against. It is taking this or that again. Unlike alpha or gamma, where it is emitted everywhere. So it is against the spin or along the spin direction. Now this was confirmed by Wu. Wu is the name of a scientist who did the experiment. Wu's experiment confirmed this parity violation in beta decay. Namely what? That beta particles are not emitted in all direction. It is either emitted along the nuclear spin direction or against the nuclear spin direction. See, this is what in beta decay we call it as helicity. Helicity. If the particle is emitted along the spin direction, helicity is 1 from the word helical. We saw the helical staircase, or helical spring. So here this particle is rotating this way and moving in this direction, or if it is rotating and moving in the opposite direction. So it is called, if it is moving along the spin direction, it is called helicity 1. If it is against the spin direction, it is called helicity -1. So helicity, it is only refers to direction of beta particle emitted. So the concept of helicity comes only in beta decay or in weak interactions. There is no question of helicity in alpha decay because it is not taking any preferred direction. Now this is the situation. Now we will just go to next step. Parity, we have said it is not conserved in weak interactions. Charge conjugation. What is a charge conjugation? It is changing particle to antiparticle. So changing a particle to antiparticle is called charge conjugation. For example, E plus and E minus. If you make E plus, convert E plus to E minus, it is called charge conjugation. That is changing plus Q to minus Q, changing the charge. In Wu's experiment, beta plus add forward helical motion. That is, helical is like a spring. It had a forward helical motion towards the detector. It was moving this way towards the detector. Beta minus as equivalent reverse helical motion. Beta minus particles add reverse helical motion. Therefore, what we say is, thus beta decay has symmetry considering charge conjugation. So if we take charge conjugation into account, there is some symmetry. So not that there is no symmetry. Beta plus is being emitted in one direction, beta minus is emitted in another direction. So if we take charge also into account, then we see that symmetry. Beta particle is not emitted in one direction, it is emitted in both directions, provided you take charge also into account. Beta plus is in this direction, beta minus is in this direction. Thus, beta decay has symmetry considering charge conjugation. If you take into account charge conjugation, then we find there is symmetry. Thus, in beta decay, parity is conserved If we consider charge conjugation, we said PCT. So we go to time reversal. It is a reversal of direction of motion. Suppose the particle is moving in this direction, it's moving in this direction. Like a spring, helical spring, it will move towards the detector, moving in this direction. When you say time reversal, it is reversal of direction of motion. So instead of moving in this direction, it will be moving in this opposite direction. So it is equivalent to reversal of time. Say, why do you call it reversal of time? This particle is rotating in this direction. Now another, if it is rotating in the opposite direction, then it means it is reversal of time. Why do we call it as reversal of time? It is like a motion picture. If you take a motion picture, man is walking in one direction. Suppose you make it fast forward, you will walk faster. If you make reverse motion, that man will be moving in the reverse direction. So we are only changing the direction. When you change the direction, it is like time reversal. Like very similar to what is reversing the motion picture. So in beta decay, neutrino and antineutrino are emitted in opposite direction. As we said, beta plus and beta minus are emitted in opposite direction. Similarly, neutrino and antineutrino are emitted in opposite direction. Now both neutrino and antineutrino are chargeless particles, chargeless. Therefore, here charge conjugation doesn't come into picture because it is chargeless. When you make charge conjugation, nothing will happen. In that case, we have to take this time reversal. So what happens is, one is taking in this direction, the other is taking the opposite direction, which is equivalent to saying one is having spin plus, the other is having spin opposite, rotation opposite direction. So one has forward helical motion, the other has reverse helical motion. So neutrino is emitted in this direction, antineutrino is emitted in this direction, like as we said for beta plus and beta minus. This is equivalent to time reversal. Physical process are same by time reversal. All physical process same by time reversal. If we take time reversal, all physical process becomes same. For beta particles, Cp sufficient. For beta particles, in order to explain symmetry, charge conjugation and parity are sufficient. Parity and charge conjugation is sufficient to explain symmetry. There is no time reversal needed there. For chargeless neutrinos and antineutrinos, PCT considered. Parity, then charge conjugation, but here for antineutrino, this will not come into play, so the time reversal will go. So if we take PCT together, all reactions are show symmetry, that is symmetrically in all directions. An event with particle should be same as an event with antiparticle. An event with particle, for example, an event with E plus must be equivalent to event with E minus. So PCT not conserved separately in weak interactions. Like P is violated. Separately, if you can't take. The product PCT is conserved in all interactions. If you take all the product together, parity, charge conjugation and time reversal, then symmetry is conserved in all interactions. So weak interactions include, this gave us example beta decay, but there are other weak interactions also. Weak interactions include beta decay, decay of muons and kaons. So all physical laws are invariant under combined operation of PCT. So all physical laws are invariant, that is symmetry, we find symmetry when you take combined operation of PCT. All systems remain unchanged by simultaneous application of PCT, including weak interactions. So with PCT, we observe symmetry. Now we will go to what is called isospin. Iso means same spin. So we are going to talk about particles with same spin. So the isospin, it is also called isobaric spin. Here isobar, A refers to the mass number, refers to mass. When even in the elements, when you consider the elements, isobaric elements, when you say isobaric elements with same mass number, Here in the elementary particles, when you say isobaric, it means same mass. So they have got same mass. So we have got so many elementary particles in cosmic radiation. We find so many particles. Then what this experimental scientists did, they separated different masses, and they found there is some symmetries there. The particles with the same mass, we will be grouping, and we will find out what is happening here. Also called isospin or also called isobaric spin. It is denoted as T. T is the isobaric spin, T. Particles with same mass have same T. So what they observed is, all the particles from cosmic radiation, you gather all the particles of same mass. Say all the particles with same mass are having same T. They are having spin, same spin. So the particles of same mass have got same spin. This spin is called isospin. So isobaric spin is the spin of particles of same mass. So it is a spin of particles of same mass. N and P, neutron and proton, have almost same mass. We know that they have got about 938 MeV. Here we are writing mass in terms of energy, because from Einstein's relation E equal to mc squared. So m equal to energy by c squared. So we can write energy mass in terms of energy. That is what we do here. So they have got 938 MeV both. Therefore they should have same T. That is what we have observed. They should have same isobaric spin T. We will just look into that. N and B are isobars. Because they have got the same mass, we call it as isobars. Just remember, as A, when A is constant, mass number is constant. Here mass is constant. N and P have got same mass, isobars. So they are 2 in number. So if you take all the elementary particles, we find that with this 938 MeV, we have got only 2 particles. Gather, you take all the particles, we find only 2 particles of this. Therefore there are 2 in number. Therefore we call it as they are 2 states. The same particle in 2 states, 2 manifestations, 2 states. Because there are 2 states, we call degeneracy is 2. The degeneracy, the same particle showing in 2 different states, that is called degeneracy. It is equal to 2 because it is 2 state, we call it as 2. Therefore it is a doublet. Neutron and proton is a doublet. There are 2 particles with same mass, therefore we call it doublet. So degeneracy, generally degeneracy equal to 2T plus 1. It is a 2T plus 1, where T is the isospin, 2T plus 1 is the degeneracy. That is, even in atomic physics, 2L plus 1 will give you the number of particles. With L equal to, suppose L equal to 1, it can have plus 1 minus 1 0. If L equal to 2, it can have plus 2 minus 2 and plus 1 minus 1 0. So these are the states. Therefore we can write as 2T plus 1, including 0, we can take 2T plus 1. 2T plus 1 will be the number of states. So the number of states is 2. So 2T plus 1 equal to 2. This means T equal to half. T equal to, so only when you put T equal to half, I will be getting 2. So N and P have got T equal to half. So isospin is half. Why? Because it is manifest in nature. We find there are 2 states. Therefore it is 2. Therefore T equal to half. With the T equal to half, Tz is equal to plus half minus. What is Z? Z component. That is, when you take L equal, when I say L equal to 1 in atomic physics, when you say L equal to 1, it can have plus L minus L. L equal to 1, it can have plus 1 minus 1 and 0. Here T equal to half. Therefore Tz, that is Z component, Tz equal to plus half or minus half. And they observed that Tz equal to plus half for proton and minus half for neutron. This is what they observed. Plus half for proton, minus half for neutron. With half, there are 2 possible. Spin equal to half. If neutron is taking up spin, proton will take down spin. Or if here P equal to plus half. If it is saying plus half proton, neutron will take minus half. The 2 particles have got same value half, that is isospin equal to half, but Z component is one component, maybe vertical component, that component will be plus half and minus half. There are 2 states. So nucleons are doublet. We have taken this value for Tz. Now when you go to pions, that is pi mesons. Pions are 3 in number. In nature, they found there are 3 particles, 3 in number, with the mass 139. So if you take all the elementary particles that you find in a detector, we will find that the pions 139 MeV, there are only 3 particles with 139 MeV, 3 particles. So you can easily say 2t plus 1 is the degeneracy. Here it is 3. 2t plus 1 equal to 3. Therefore, what will be t? So we will go further into next slide. So here there are 3 pions observed. Therefore, degeneracy is 2t plus 1 equal to 3. Because 3 are observed, we can call it as triplet. There are 3 particles with same mass. So 3. So if 2t plus 1 equal to 3, what will be t? T will be 1. So if you put 1, only then you will get 3. So pions have t equal to 1. That's called isospin. Same spin. All the pions have got same spin. They have got same mass, same isospin. But when you say t equal to 1, the z component can be plus 1, 0, minus 1. That is plus 1, minus 1, 3. So they found that pi meson, pi plus is plus 1. This is pi 0, 0. Pi minus, minus 1. This is the observation, and therefore they have defined isospin. So pions are triplet. Now we go to hyperons. So we are just talking about 3. There are various particles. We are talking about leptons, that is baryons. We talked about baryons. Then we are talking about pions. So when you take hyperons mass, that is lambda, as mass 1115. It has got mass 1115. But there is only one particle with this mass. So degeneracy 2t plus 1 equal to 1. So what it means? T equal to 0. Only then it will get 1. Thus t equal to 0 for lambda 0 and t z equal to 0. Only 0. Therefore there is no component 0. So lambda 0 is a singlet. Thus isospin decides the number of particles with same mass. So we will just summarize. So we have explained the conservation laws valid for elementary particles, and we talked about the PCT symmetry. It is also called PCT theorem. And isospin is defined with examples. So I have given example for hyperons, that is baryons, mesons and hyperons. That is baryon, first you can take as mesons, that is medium mass. Then baryons, larger mass. Hyperons, still more higher mass. So we have taken the 3 regions, and we found that the particles with same mass have got same isospin. So we will have a few questions for the day. So enlist the conservation laws valid for elementary particles and explain the PCT symmetry. Define isospin and explain with examples. So thank you.